I'm waiting until I see myself. Then we'll go. Yes. Hello. I'm excited, guys. And first off, I want to say sorry for last Thursday. We planned a stream, but we had some last-minute technical difficulties with Blender, some server issues, but now we're live. And today we're going to start a shot, an acting shot, and yeah, I'm going to walk you through it. It's going to be a little bit of a, preparation. We'll do some initial posing, some rough blocking, and then, yeah, hope to explain a little bit about the setup that I use. I'm going to show some reference that I took. Obviously, I'm going to let you guys hear the sound, the audio. But yeah, let's dive into it. So let me just let you hear the audio without any of the characters. I do have the scene set up here, but just to give you an idea of what we're going for. So this is the audio.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
And once more.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
All right. So with that audio, and you've probably seen already a little bit of my setup, we're going for this guy sitting at a bar, and he's gonna try to hook up with the bartender. But he struggles a bit to find the actual connection. And the idea is, let me actually show my one of my references. I do have multiple shots, or like multiple takes of references that I did. But let me show you one of them.
I want to
and show a bit of the idea that I have, because with an audio like this you can go everywhere. It's different from when you are animating a shot in a movie, which is probably a shot that has a shot before, a shot after, and there's context, there's this character, and you clearly have a couple of restrictions that you have to work with, which makes it easier for the decision making. But with an audio file, simply like that, like a blank slate, you have to, do everything yourself, which is fun, but also challenging. So this is something I came up with. And let me show you what I have here.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Once more.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So a little pun that's in here is obviously, maybe it's not, that, the connection that they have is he gets drinks from her and he wants another one. And, I gotta say, I don't nail the acting fully, but I do have some ideas from it. I do have another shot or another take that goes a bit more shy, and I want to grab bits and pieces from both of these takes. There you go.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Once more.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So a bit more uncertain of his approach here in terms of like how he's looking, you know, a bit sideways. And there, you know, with shooting reference, I always tend to do a lot of takes because I never nailed it the first time. Even the 50th time I'm not happy with. But I do find bits and pieces that I like, little gestures or way I move that I want to incorporate with the animation. And I always see the reference pass as a big inspirational pass where you come up with new ideas, where you try things out, but not necessarily, you know, let yourself be constrained to the actual reference because you want to push things here and there or maybe combine ideas. So this is another take of it, but just to give you guys some idea of what I could go for. And, you know, I'm going to explore a little bit. I want to explore the character, but let me look at the chat first. All right. Hello. Okay. Is the rig available to download? Not yet, but very soon. Sorry about that, but we'll jump a little bit into the rig actually. I'm going to use the snow rig here, which is modeled by Julian Casper and rigged by Demeter Tariq. And I need to hover my mouse around to make this work. Here I did import my my references into the video. I'll just briefly go over how I set this one up. But first off, let me just, because I did a little bit of expression testing on the guy, just to give you an example of several expressions and a little bit showing off the rig itself. And that is right here. So and this rig has been using some new technology of combining blend shapes in a non-destructive way, where, for instance, these little wrinkles up here, but also the bulging of the cheeks. Some points to incorporate that with the actions with the bones itself. So it's a really neat rig. I'm very happy how it's turning out and what kind of expressions we can get on this guy. All right, so let's jump into the file. And as you can see, I have, you know, normally I work with two screens. One screen I use for the actual shot, and the other screen is my interface where I do manipulations. But for the stream, of course, we cramp everything together. And even if I work here, I am a little bit, I need to work out the the actual workflow here. But let me show you how I set this up. So I have the audio imported into the sequencer with the audio waveform turned on. So if I play it here.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation.
So there's the audio. And then, of course, I have the action editor here. And for the scene itself, actually I have the rain rig in there as well. It's kind of the character that he's talking to. We won't be animating her for now. Eventually we will, but I want to focus on Snow, which is the name of the character, for now. And as you can see, it's a bit of a bar setting. I mocked this up quickly. Eventually this will be modeled by a proper modeler and also lit by somebody else. But I already post, of course, when you open a file, you get the rig not like this. You get it in a T pose. But yeah, this is just the file here. I did model, even though you don't see it, a little bar seat simply because I wanted to determine how he would sit and how his pose would be when he's sitting. And of course, he's sticking his legs through the bar itself. But I don't mind. I just want to make sure that this feels somewhat physically accurate, so I can put him down there and let him lean onto something instead of like having him sit on nothing, basically. So now, just give me 1 sec, sip of coffee. Let me look at the chat here. How do you handle recording your acting clips? I always feel too embarrassed and cringy when playing them back. Is not acting a bad practice for animation? I have the same thing, honestly. It's always embarrassing to watch yourself when you do a reference. So it's, you got to step over that boundary and not care at all. And just do it more often, and you get more used to it. It's not the fun part, I would say, because I don't like it. That's why I became an animator, not an actor. But yeah, it's very helpful and useful to get your ideas across, even for a director, to communicate an early idea without putting too much time into it. It's very flexible. So how do I do that? Well, I just use my phone and turn on some like laptop, crank up the audio and edit it later. Nothing fancy about it. I mean, at studios, they do have dedicated recording places. So if you need a fight scene or whatever, then yeah, need a better setup, but for this it's fine. All right, cool. All right, now about the setup, let me go over the actual scene, because there's a couple of things we have to consider when starting a shot like this. And one of them is that we actually deal with the bar itself. So the hand will be resting on the bar. And actually, let me turn on as I'm sitting here. And also the glass is been, put down, and maybe shoved forward right at the end. So we need to think about the actual constraint setup before we start animating, because if I start blocking out things now, then I have to fight my own mistakes, or fight my own, not doing any of the constraints. So I always try to kind of figure out a nice setup to set constraints up, especially when we have stuff like this. So let me just quickly go over it. I have to mention just before Blender crashes, I'm working on Blender 3.2 alpha, which is very risky. So if we get a crash, I'll jump to 3.1 or 3.0 because, yeah, I cannot work with broken software. This is very experimental, but at least we get the newest and the greatest stuff in there. All right. So about the constraint setup that I have for the glass itself, I modeled this myself, and I basically, and this is a terrible, because I modeled it myself, I didn't properly scale it. So now you have a very big control, but it's basically linked, or like parent constraint, how do you call it? Copy transform to the actual wrist. So now when I move around the wrist, it will actually move with the body, with the hand. Now for the other arm, it's a bit more tricky because we have an elbow. If you don't have an elbow lock and I move the body around, I cannot show you now because it's actually, I've set it up properly, but let me actually show the problem here before we go to the solution. So let me actually turn on, and let's make this a bit smaller here, stretch. Okay, turn this one off like this. All right, so let's say you don't have any constraints and you wanted to animate this guy. And if I move forward, you can see like the elbow itself here. Actually, come on. Right here. So I want to rotate him. You see the elbow is going through there. It's not sitting there. Like if you're leaning on a table, the elbow will be solid, contacting the table instead of going through it. So in order to not fight the elbow on every single frame, I'm going to Control Z a little bit here. So we go back to the actual constraint. I constrained the elbow stretch bone, which is this guy right here. And if I move that around, you can see, oh, now of course it's constrained. So let me unconstrain it. It's basically, you can put it wherever you want. So let's put it back on. And I move the, now if I move the body right here, you can see it's just stuck on the table. Now, there are some pros and cons to that. Obviously, it stays there forever. So whenever I move the body up, you see the arm is getting stretched. So you have some manual correction that you need to do. But that's, you know, that's the best that you can get with this. And at least you have a solid contact point on the table. Now, next to that, I also constrained the IK primary bone, and I'm sorry if this is too complicated, guys. You say like, shut up, start animating. But I just want to make sure that this is a very important part, because you want to make sure that the contact points feel believable, that it's easy to work with, and it will save you a lot of time along the way. Now, if I rotate this bone, so actually let me hide some bones here. Make it a bit more clear and turn off the stretch bone. So I put in an empty bone, which is part of the rig. There's a couple of empty bones that come with the rig where you can constrain it to either objects or to parts of the body. So I put one of them on the table, and that one is constrained to the world, so it's not, or to the root of snow. But when I rotate this one around, I'm actually able to lift up his arm from that point. So the rotation point will be from the elbow, which would be a natural thing to do. And then I still have the secondary IK bone where I can move it around, rotate it like that. So it's a bit complicated setup, but I think, yeah, for me, it's going to be very helpful. All right. That was it for the setup. Have a good day. See you later. No, kidding. Let's start animating. Let me go for the chat first, and then we'll start actually blocking out some of the acting. Is this approach of working from acting reference something you usually do? Yes, I always, especially for more sincere animation, to have some sort of reference, either, you know, I usually go for video referencing, but not go super detailed, because I want to have the freedom and also the multiple takes to combine together. So I'm not, you know, spending mostly a couple of hours doing reference, and then that will give me enough info for where I need to go. Obviously now for the stream, I try to be a little bit more sophisticated, because I need to show you guys what I'm after. If you are animating it, Does that mean the rigging is completed? Yes. With a small caveat is that I might encounter some waiting, little tweaks that, but we've extensively already tested this rig. There might be some things still popping up, and I will note that down. So this is kind of a, ultimate test to see if the rig is holding up to it. Why is there in the rigging stream description? The rig will be available for supporters. I'm not sure about where it's going to be released, either for supporters or I'm not sure about that. All right, let's get started. Yeah, okay. Okay, where do we start? So first off, you start obviously with a one sec. And I'll just push this back a little bit. I'm going to turn off the gizmo on this side. Now your scene won't come with a character like this, so I already posted. So I get a sense of composition before I get started. So, but that's the first thing you want to do. You want to put it into a general, pose where it's going to start in or where it's generally sitting in. Now, the next thing, and this is just a habit of mine, I'm not going to touch the face for now. I'm going to put it in some sort of neutral pose, so it's staring at you like a doll, but it has some personality to it. And then, so I don't touch any of the face controls. I do want to key my fingers and IK, FK, and also these guys, simply because I'm working with some secondary controls here. So on frame 1, just going to put in a keyframe. Wait, I select everything. There we go. So now if I delete these guys, should be fine. Okay. Another thing I set up is the keyframe interpolation. Put it on constant, because I want to see my stuff unstepped and do some proper key posing in there. I find it easier to see where I actually put in new beats. If I do it in spline, it will become floaty very fast. So this is just something I want to start with. Okay, now for the video reference, where I put that is when you select the camera and be in object mode, you can add background images as movies. So it does slow down your playback speed. So I'm only going now looking for the right reference, and we'll flavor in some of the left one here. And let me actually explain a little bit about what I like from one and what I gonna choose from, both of them. Now, obviously, this file doesn't have the class in there, so I'm going to use the take 3.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
And there's some more body movement in here going forward.
I want to keep talking to you.
So let's analyze this a little bit. So I'm going forward, tilting my head a little bit.
You know?
Now, in this reference, I'm looking away pretty fast, and I want to stay connected. So this is something I don't want to copy. I don't
know what your situation is.
Generally in this take, I think I'm looking away too much. I want to make sure that we're talking to another person and not go too internally the whole time. So, but I do want to go move backwards.
I don't know what your situation is,
a little bit there. But the but part, I want to keep it very subtle, so it's clear that he is thinking about something.
I feel like we got some.
And then we do the head tilt into another move on. I feel like
we got some kind of connection, right?
Now, what I like about the last part is that he's trying to come up with what do we have in common? What does connect us? So he's trying to come up with something. So he's looking at her, looking away a little bit there, and then suddenly his eyes go to the glass.
Some kind of connection, right?
And the connection is like, this is our connection. You give me drinks, and I'm a little tipsy, and then I ask you out or something. So that's the part of what I like about this take. And then for the other take, I have it open here. Yeah, here. What I like about this take is it's a bit more subtle, shy.
I want to keep talking.
So same thing going forward, but keep looking at her.
I don't know what you're.
Then we're breaking away a little bit and do a little bit of, insecurity, doing blinking quite a bit. That always makes it a bit more, uneasy.
I don't know what your situation is.
And then looking up like this, like from below, it gives a little bit of insecure.
Situation is, but.
And then, we're looking away. So it's the opposite of the other take a little bit in terms of like, keep looking at her, but then when he says, we dart away, which gives us an indication of, he's thinking about something instead of her. So he's going internal. And then going back to her, I feel like
we got some kind of.
And then going back into what can we think of? And connection, I don't have the glass here, but the connection part,
right?
That's where we pull the glass towards her and hope for a positive response. Now for the end, I'm not sure how I wanted to do a little payoff. Like if she either puts down a receipt, like go home, you drunk guy, or simply walks away. It needs to be a little bit of a, a little bit of a payoff there. I'm not sure about that. We'll focus on him for now and about the dialogue here. So let me play this once more.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Sir, why do you start animation at frame 1, not frame 0? That's a good question. Now, this is partly a habit, but also if you have one frame, let's say you have 24 frames in a second, you go to the first frame, it's frame 1. It's not frame 0. It's different from, if you have a piece of pie, 10 pieces, you start with piece 1. It's like you don't start with piece 0. It's your first piece. So first frame, frame 1. And that makes it easier for my brain. All right. Let's get started. So I'm going to block in some major beats here. And I'm turning off, going to this guy. I want to turn off the right side of the, this one, yeah, like that. So I'll be focusing on my reference here, simply for some main body movement that I will combine with the second one later. I turn off rain for now. Ultimately, he probably needs to look a little bit to the right, a little higher. We'll adjust that later. I don't want to worry about do that too much. And then, yeah, let's get started. Save my file before it crashes. Version up, save. And here, go down here. Okay.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
All right, and I'm going to just block in some poses here. Now, the main body movement from here, I noticed when I was sitting at a bar drinking beer. No, kidding. That the main motion is coming from the actual root bone, body bone or whatever, torso bone. This guy. And so I'm going to start blocking the main beats just moving this bone. It's like playing with a Lego puppet guy, just going up and down, going forward and backward, simply to get the beat in there, and then I'll post stuff from there. So grabbing this bone, and actually here, turn off my bones. All right, so
I want to keep talking.
So here's where the audio starts, and I'm just putting this. I just need to check if I want to do audio scrubbing or not.
I want to keep talking.
So there's one thing I don't like about this whole setup, and that is when I scrub through the audio, it's fine.
I don't know what your situation is.
But then when I hold on one frame, that cannot stand. Hopefully there will be an option where it's not looping over one frame, because it doesn't help me, let's say. But
I want to keep talking to you.
So we start the shot off being a little bit more neutral. So I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna put my rotation order here, pushing it back a little bit on frame 1. Here. That. So on 37, I'm going to move him forward a little bit. I want to keep talking to you and push a little bit with the shoulder in, like that.
I want to keep talking to you. I want to keep talking to you. I want to keep talking to you, you know?
I just want to push him a little bit more forward too. So he's really leaning in to get her attention.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
Maybe here I want to go a little bit to the side, like this. And about any stretching, I'm going to worry about later, not now. I just want to have the main beats in there. So
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your...
So there's the, I don't know what your situation is.
I don't know what your situation is.
And he's going backwards again. It's me. So about the little, like you see in my body movement, it's a little bit of easing from left to right, forward. I'm not going to worry about that now. Not in the blocking stage. I'm not going to set too many keys already, because I want to be flexible.
Talking to you, you know? I don't know what...
Around here, roughly, we go a little bit more backwards to there. So we're going more like there.
I don't know what your situation is.
Earlier, like there.
I don't know what your situation is, but I don't know what your situation is.
Now,
I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some... I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got...
And now we're going a little bit to the left here. So
I feel like we got some situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of
looking at his glass. His glass is might be a little bit too my glass is pretty far away already, which makes the eye direction a bit more easy. If he needs to look at the glass here, he needs to look down pretty far, so we might adjust that a little bit there.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? Connection. Right? Kind of connection, right?
And now I'm going back to the other reference, and it's a bit weird to shift around a little bit, but what I like here is that we actually...
Connection, right? Connection, right?
We push in a little bit with the head.
Right? Kind of connection.
Connection. I want to actually move in the... Let me double check that.
Connection, right?
So yeah, there's a little slight angle there. And I'm not pushing it too much on this bone because it's our base bone. We're going to do the chest and everything else. But this is just to get a little bit of rhythm, some beats going on here. So we got some motion. Just to see, like, does the energy flow well? Is it on the right time? Is the right timing there? So bit boring, but very necessary.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay, I want him to lean more to the right here. Like this, maybe.
Connection, right? Connection, right? Kind of connection, right?
Now you might say, why don't you have a constraint on this side? Because that one is also going through there. But we're gonna work with the hand and push it forward a little bit. It's only the end that we're going in this pose, so I don't bother too much.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Want to just push in the motion here a little bit.
Connection, right?
This might be a bit too much. Okay.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
All right. Let's do some head motion in there. I have the head on world rotation, so whenever I rotate the body, you might have noticed the head is going to stay in the same position. That's because I want to have full control over the head on an acting shot. Whenever it's parented to the body, you're constantly counter animating. You cannot create nice rotational arcs or little subtle movement without fighting the hierarchy there. So let's go with the head. So
I want to keep talking to you.
So let's adjust our head towards her a little bit, rotating like that. He's talking a little bit up there. And from the beginning, I will have a bit more neutral. Again, the eyes, don't worry about it. Just roughly there, like that. So
I want to keep talking.
So I do go forward with my head and a slightly tilt to it, but this feels honestly, if I look at this pose, this could be a bad guy threatening somebody else. So it doesn't read, and as you, yeah, that's where I do not necessarily, I derive from this actual pose. If I go to my other shot here.
I want to keep talking to you.
Yeah, it's a bit more opened up, not necessarily like looking very, very down with the head,
You know?
or like rotating it more.
I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
All right, now
I want to
go back there. So we're gonna drive a little bit and explore a bit of.
I want to keep.
So that rotate a bit more this way, maybe, or this way. Maybe that. So do. And then I just want to set up that first primary. I want to have these guys, and then Shift H. And now I have the the eye controls there too, because I do want to adjust the eyes there. And let me also key them. Key.
I want to keep talking to you.
So. And you could say put your eyes on the target, put the target in world space, but man, then I'm fighting my eyes constantly, especially in stepped. I don't want that, so I'm going to rotate them, rotate his head down a little bit, like that, and then to counter his eyes a little bit there. So
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what I don't know what I don't know.
So
I don't know what your situation is.
And we're gonna look away a little bit there. Maybe even here. You know, and again, it's...
I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is.
But here I do, instead of me, and actually turn Ray back off again. As I said, I don't like that we're looking away that long here. And then we're looking at her again. That's where we jump to the other reference video, and this is a bit of a hassle to actually switch it up, because if I turn them on both, it's getting a little laggy, so like that.
I don't know what your situation is.
So right there, I do want to look back at her.
What your situation is. What your situation is.
I do actually want to put in an extra pose to ease it out a bit. So
I don't know what your situation.
Pushing it back a little bit there.
I don't know what your situation is.
And look at her. So it becomes, when you rotate it like that.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but...
So it becomes a bit more shy looking like that.
I don't know what your situation is.
Like not fully straight on. Again, this is not final posing. I'm just looking to get the right energy in there.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is.
Because we're going pretty far up and maybe want to stay lower a little bit. So we'll tweak that later.
I don't know what your situation is, but
So, but now for this part where he says, but I just want to do his eyes here. So he's like,
but
and then maybe another dart like there.
I don't know what your situation is, but I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is, but
And that's this part right here where I'm just. So this will be all in the face, so his body is fully still.
I feel like we got some.
And then. And now let me check the reference.
I feel like we got some kind.
Yeah, so he's turning his head there.
I feel.
So.
I feel like we got. I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like.
So. Going up with the head, and this is just me, you know, eyeballing a little bit here. Going back to her eye line.
I feel like
and then rotate head the other way around. Gonna look at her there. Actually, push this down a little bit.
I feel like we got some kind of.
And then.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of.
Maybe rotating him already a bit more forward here.
I feel like we got. I feel like we got. I feel like.
There's a bit. I now that I look at my reference a bit more closely, I love the fact that there's a little bit of shoulder movement on this part where he's like.
I feel like we got some.
It's very subtle. Let me zoom in here. So.
I feel like we got.
Terrible with the scrubbing, but.
I feel like we got some kind of.
We're gonna amp that up with his shoulders because it will look a little bit more. Oh boy, yeah, that's good. A little bit more insecure.
I feel like we got. Like we got some kind of, you know? I don't know what your situation is. I don't know.
Let me actually break the contact of the eye contact with her a bit stronger. So maybe looking at his glass there.
What your situation is, but I feel like we got some.
So now I maybe want to rotate the head a little bit more like that.
I feel like we got. I feel like we got some kind of.
And he doesn't know what the connection actually is, so he's coming up with something. Trying to step by step, you know, dissect his thought process here. So he's drifting off with his eyes.
Like we got some kind of. I feel like we got some kind of.
Looking at his glass.
I feel like we got some kind of connection.
There you go. Again, he's not even looking at his glass, so this is animation, man. We're looking at the shot, we're trying to pull it together, and we got a long way to go, guys, but I'm sure it's gonna turn out great. All of you are like, what is this guy even doing? Pushing it a little bit more. And then looking up at her a little bit more sideways. Is that? Now, I didn't touch her, the chest yet, so looking back at her like that.
Right? I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So, and we push the glass forward. So that's like where the instigation is coming from, like rotating it open.
Connection, right?
And again, the staging is not great. Everything is overlapping here. We'll work on that later.
Connection, right?
But I just want to get something in there to iterate from. So what do we have here? Let me turn off actually so looking at this here.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay. Now the glass in the end, this part, it doesn't look like he's actually looking at the glass. It's a bit unclear.
Connection, right?
But
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
yeah, that can work. Let's go to the chat. El chat. Where are we? Did you try changing the audio device option in the settings, making it SDL? Could help maybe for looping sound. I did not. I can quickly try. If I can find it. Not actually. Device option in the settings. Where is it even, eh? System. Sound. Pulse audio. SDL. Still happening. So that's not it. But thanks for the suggestion. Okay. Why is it jumping from one position to the next rather than transforming smoothly? Now, this is because I'm blocking my shot. I'm blocking in stepped, in constant keys. So I get a more clear picture of my choices that I make. So if I put it into Berger or like spline interpolation, it becomes very floaty. It looks nice, it looks smooth, but I don't get clear choices. I don't read my own choices clearly. So I want to have the power over my choices instead of let the computer calculate it. It's called blocking. So We refine new keys in between, get a more advanced blocking, and then eventually it will be smooth and we'll spline it and what so on. Yeah, so this video will be saved on YouTube forever. I have a question. You want to be a character artist or a concept artist? Important. How did I know how to rig? It's very helpful to have at least some knowledge of certain areas, like do some modeling, do some rigging, do some drawing, some animation, rendering. So at least you know what people are talking about when they're talking about different process, different parts of the process. Question. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to record good facial expressions. What is your tip on how to go with facial expressions if reference video is bad? Yeah, good question. For animation, I don't have too much trouble with it because I did the expression testing on this one, so I know kind of the range of what I want of expressions. But when you're relying more on your reference in terms of facial expressions, then I would suggest to overact your face or do the shots twice, one with the body and one only the face. So you do a close up and overact it, just overact it. And sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's not. So try that. Shoot the face separately. Okay. Now we'll continue a little bit and refine some of our keys and add in some extras. So.
I want to keep talking to you, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay, a couple of things that I want to change, and one of them is the position of the glass. And also maybe move this thing over. It's a bit close, and I want to have a bit of freedom here. So actually, and normally sometimes you can ask for changing the set. Bo, if you're watching this, I'm changing the set here, okay? Moving it over a little bit, just so I have a little bit more freedom. Bo is gonna model the actual set, so pulling his hairs out now. Okay, now. And right here, this is my frame that I want to make sure it reads well. So I push it. Oh, shit. No, I don't want that.
Connection, right?
Connection. I'm gonna probably change the hand pose on this one, but at least let's see if we push it more forward. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then from the beginning pose also. So I'm hitting Shift E now just to blend between those poses, see if I can move it more forward without doing this because it looks weird. So pushing it more. Shift E is the blend to neighbor tool where you can blend between keyframes. So
I don't know what your situation is.
Now one thing I noticed is that I don't like that we're going up so much.
I want to keep talking to you.
I like the fact that we're going down a little bit more intimate.
I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what
And especially with the shoulder popping up there. Yeah. I want to change that a little bit and refine. So let's go back to the reference.
you know, I don't know what your situation is, but
Not this reference, but the other. Object mode, camera. It's probably a faster way to do this, but
keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is.
yeah, I don't go up that much. I do go backwards with my body there.
I don't know what your situation.
And I also do something with the hand there, but that's... I do it too much, so I want to find a nice place where I can do the hand gesture.
Talking to you, you know? I don't know what.
So... see if I can just push it back a bit.
I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is.
And here I just Shift E, land it back a little bit.
I don't know what your situation is, but
the hand is stretched. Oh, it's not. It looks stretched around here. Probably want to move the elbow a bit to the side later.
I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? You know? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of... I feel like we got some kind of... I feel like we got... we got some kind of connection, right? Connection.
Ah, not too sure about this pose in the end. Also this, we want to need a little bit of shoulder there, probably. And this is one thing I noticed, is that rotating the shoulder forward there, see, it's breaking the shirt there. I did push it in a little bit, so let me actually push down. Yeah. So this is something we should ask rigging to kind of adjust that a little bit. Now, a lot of the times we cheat quite a bit. So let's say this elbow is, it feels like he has a very short arm. So I'm really looking at the camera perspective. And when I select this bone, I don't mind, you know, pushing it either out or in just to get a better silhouette. And of course we don't do this, but maybe it's pushing the combination of things around, maybe having the glass pushed a bit inward, and then have this guy push a bit outward like that, just to get a better read on his arm there.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
And this, yeah, this is, it's weird. It doesn't feel right. Let's take a look at the reference. So, actually turn off the collection here. So I don't fully engage with the glass like I do in the shot. So
Situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
so it's a very gentle push.
connection, right?
That's something we might want to incorporate instead of pushing it.
Connection, right?
Like, give me more drink. Give me more. No, I want to make it more gentle. So. Come on, global.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
And then pushing down. Oh, there's actually a key on my... People are probably freaking out that there's keys here. Sorry. There's keys. Is it only on this here? Oh my gosh. Is it on everything here and I cannot? Can I do this and then select hierarchy? Shit. Oh, sorry, I cannot say that. Why? Why did I put keys here? Because automatic keying is on. And why can I not select everything and then because of active selection? Can I select them right here? Oh my gosh.
I feel like
I have to select them all at once. Oh man, I love this. That's what a live stream is. Get to see everything. Probably there's a way to do it, but I'm just a simple animator. Almost there. We'll cut this out of the... Oh, but we can't. We cut this out of the movie. Ah. If I go to this, do I then... Wait a second. Does this work? Okay, then I delete this. Of course, I just should go to the actual graph editor. That was embarrassing. Let's go back to animating. Is it all gone though? Yeah. Okay.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? Connection. Connection, right? Connection, right?
Maybe a bit too far down, so pushing it up a little bit there, but a little to the side, like that. Put this key.
Connection, right?
You probably get nuts from my scrubbing. Let me actually turn off scrubbing because it's bothering everybody. Okay.
Of connection, right? Connection.
Push this key back. I just want to soften
connection, right?
Motion
connection,
there. And maybe I want to lead with the thing.
Right. Connection, right?
Figure that out later.
Right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know. I want to keep...
Okay. I'm gonna do some chest movement.
I want to.
So I go here. Just want to go up a little bit. And then go down. So we have a little bit of an ease.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
Get closer.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
And we're going down this way. I hold D. Yes, we're going down this way. So my ease out, you see my ease out is going down. And I want to make sure that it's going the same direction. You can, you know, change things around a little bit, but how do I? Like that. So move it a bit to the side.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know.
Now we're leading here with the head.
I don't know what your situation.
A little bit. And it's moving backwards.
I don't know.
Rotating it this way.
I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of. I feel like we got some kind of.
So, yeah, again, for the guys that just tuned in, I'm picking bits and pieces of my reference. So, for instance, if we go right here with his head, instead of looking this way, I'm going to make sure that we keep contact with her.
We got some kind of.
I do it here too a little bit.
I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So right here, I do want to make sure that we actually look at the glass. So maybe he's raising his glass like this.
Of connection, right? I feel like we got some kind of connection. Of connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Now, why do I not start animating details? It's because I want the shot to communicate as early as possible. Of course, we're going to add lip sync, we're going to add more expressions and more details, but if the shot doesn't work right now, yeah, it's going to be hard to fix that with everything else. So I want to make sure that I
want to keep talking to you, you know?
Hit the keys with, or hit the beats with as few keys as possible, so that will read. So
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation.
And I'm going to ease out a little bit of these motions.
You know, I don't know what your situation. I don't know what your situation is, but I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Still not a big fan of this last pose. It's very confusing. Not reading well.
Connection, right?
It's also the shoulder there. Alt R.
Right? Connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? You know, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay, we're gonna block some rough face poses in there next, just to get some changes in there from combined with the rough blocking that's there right now, and that would be a pass. That would be first pass that I show to any supervisor. So
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
yeah, and the end pose, we'll figure that out later. Let's talk. Let's check the chat. Imagine if Dope Sheet had audio waveform. Yes, I feel you. There's been very silent rumors. No promises, just rumors. That something, it's buzzing, okay? That something like that might be an option later. No promises. True. Yeah, only show selected keyframes in Dope Sheet. Yeah. Okay, let's do some rough facial poses here. I'm just talking about, you know, touching the main controls on.
I want to keep talking to you, you know?
And actually turn on rain here.
No,
See how that goes.
I don't.
Frame rate is not very important because we're in blocking, so.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Yeah. And then she's like, get out of my face. Or maybe she's like, sure,
I want to keep.
I like you too. All right.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I want to keep.
So turn on. Oh, also little cheat that will be available. I did do a post library. I made a post library. Hand poses are very helpful when you work on multiple shots or a bigger project to have that all preset. Very helpful to quickly jump into some shapes there. Hand poses. Getting a little sad. It's nice to get started on some. Now we actually didn't key him, so now he will be looking a bit more stoic. Let me go back here. So, and then Cloud Rig, turn on. this. There we have the face, and I just want to work with a couple of bones here, jaw. Normally I don't go into the face too quick, but you know, for representation it might be helpful to get some ideas in there. Also blinks. So select the eyelids, mouth corners, jaw, and main eyebrow bones. So I do Shift H. So now I only have these controls there. And wait a second, maybe also the main mouth, jaw, mouth control bone there. Shift H, okay. And now I'll key them all on frame 1. So it's all stored. Okay. Now this also will establish a little bit of the mood that we're going for. And as I shown you before, this is a bit more insecure kind of mood.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
This might be too insecure. I want to do a little bit of that flavor in there, here and there, but not. Yeah, let's see. This is exploration also.
I want to keep talking to you.
So
I want to keep.
I'm just working with the keys that are already there. So opening up his mouth there. Brows up a little bit more. Together with the brows, the eyes come up there too. The eyelids.
I want to keep talking.
And then when we relax, we move them back down. Again, you know, just to get talking to you.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? You know? I don't know what you're...
So this moment here, I know in the reference, I probably closed my eyes there. No, I did not. Did I in the other?
Keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is.
Yeah, there's a moment there where I
don't
do the blinking. So let's block in some blinking. And I do that simply by sliding in some of these. So open them up, let's say 4 frames later or something. So basically copy the previous key here.
I don't know what you're...
And then maybe do another one. And again, you know, just getting...
I don't know what your situation is. Keep talking to you, you know?
Maybe lead with the blink, so we do it a bit earlier.
I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your situation is.
Maybe one more.
What your situation...
No. So I don't know what your situation is. I did raise the brows on. So
I don't know what your situation...
And then here going down a little bit.
I don't know what your situation is, but
And then, but I want to, the but up part, I want to dial in the insecurity, or like, what's it called? Not insecure, but a little bit of uncertainty, doubt in there. So
I don't know what your situation
then when he's looking up, we go up with the eye like there.
is, but
Now, one thing to note with eyes, the amount of eye white that you see on a character pretty much determines either if they're relaxed or stressed or angry, you know, tension or relaxed. Like if there's eye white all around the eyes, you can see it here actually. So this one half lidded, you know, not a lot of eye white going on. It tends to be more, it reads more relaxed. And then we go to scary, which is all eye white around. That always gets that feeling of it. So when we go into a bit more like insecure area,
I don't know what your situation is, but
it works well to actually have a little bit of eye white above it. Not too much. You don't want it to feel crazy, but
I feel like we got some. But I feel.
And there's a little bit of I want to have a blink there. So I just copy that blink over.
I feel like we got some.
And then maybe pushing these ones up a little bit to get a bit more of a, yeah, I don't know if you, oh, they're on the wrong key here.
I feel like we got some kind.
Moving them down a little bit. Now, I have to say, this character will come with a control that that comes also with, wow, there's a lot of options here, hey? Sticky eyelids. So that means now it's set to 1. And that means if I rotate the eyes around, it will slightly rotate with the eyelids will slightly rotate with the eyes. Turn this to 1. That's so that's not what we want. Put it to 0.5 maybe and delete the key. So we have a bit more of organicness, so that's not fully sticking. You know, it's nice to have free, some animation for free there.
I feel like we got some kind of.
And here we're looking a bit too low. This is hard to. It looks a bit creepy. So right here and of course I need to make this into a selection set or some sort. But Shift H. Okay. So
I feel like we got some kind of. I feel like we got some.
I feel like we got some kind of take these guys out a little bit.
I feel like we got some kind of.
Push them down. And this we will, by default, it will look a bit angry. So We don't want to go too crazy on the...
I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Now the connection part, I want to stick a little bit more to...
I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
bit more of that, so there's some insecurity in there.
Connection, right?
And it's all about how much IY do we get here, so push them up a little bit. And these one as well. The further we push them up, the more it almost becomes some sort of awkward smiley thing. So we just let it be like there. And then it's not.
Connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? Some kind of connection. Connection.
Nah, I don't need the mouth there. So
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So for this, I want a little bit of a fake smile. Just like pushing it up there and then rotating it. I need some more controls to make that work, actually. But it's a bit of a sheepish kind of a smile, like, and probably he's looking too low. So we need to
connection, right?
wait, is she moving too? She is. Oh man. Some keys in there. Great. That's my mistake, by the way. I wanted to have her lean more forward. Those keys are not intentional to be moving, so probably we'll stick to a pose like that. But and even here we're a little off with the face. Fix that later.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what you're...
Could you... I would rather call this a staging pass, because it's not that way that I put in the main ideas, the main beats, and I'm gonna refine it to a blocking pass from now, to you know, add in some extra details. But at least the main beats are reading, so
I want to keep talking to you.
leaning forward.
You know, I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay, let's work a bit on that last part here. I'm still not happy with the pose in the end. And again, it can be, you can put it down there and we can dive into that later on. But I want to make sure that it's reading already in the staging phase here. Staging is all about communicating the ideas, not the actual motion, I guess.
I feel like we got some.
Not sure about that. Anyway. Are you a squash or a stretch type of person? I like it. You haven't finished yet? Why is it taking so long? I know. Yeah. Come back in a week or two and it will be great. Yes, this is 3.2 alpha. I'm living on the edge here in terms of, you know, experimental software and such. Yeah, 3.2. Yes, there will be lip sync part, there will be polish part, but not in this stream. Just setting up the file and doing some rough blocking here. Okay. Blender hard to learn. The amateur told me a nice analogy. Blender is like learning a language. And it takes as long as learning a language because it's hard, especially in the beginning, but you get better at it once you keep trying and keep practicing. So, you want to learn Spanish or Blender? All right. Let's work a little bit on that end part of the hand there.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So,
connection.
So connection, if we do that a little bit more frontal. So pushing it a little bit less and then
right?
Right. You know what would be nice? So actually have a shortcut for scrubbing and scrubbing audio. So when I do this, I hold, I don't know, shift or something. Then it will, you will actually hear the scrubbing. So it's like, it would be nice.
Connection, right? Right?
Right. So this will be my end frame. And then here I go a little bit more there.
Connection, right? 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 Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right? But I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? Like we got some kind of connection, right? Connection, right? Connection.
Take a look at my reference here, because I do like how we end up here.
Got some kind of connection, right? I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
So he's moving in. I really like moving more inwards towards her.
Connection, right?
So let me turn on actually that reference.
Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right? But I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right?
Too many bones moving at the same time.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
Pushing it in a little bit. And then moving it down.
Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right?
And he's going in a little bit with an angle. Like it's go. Oh, wait a second. Wait. D. Oh, I have to hold D. Okay. Coming in with an angle like this. Come on, here. So I'm putting in just some in-betweens to kind of instigate that. Not going for the full
Connection,
arc.
right?
So it's going right, left. Maybe this might be too far right already. And here, pushing it to the left a bit.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
Maybe push it forward a bit.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
Actually leading with the hand.
Connection. Connection, right? Connection.
It's a bit also, I shot this reference just today, and because I wanted to capture the different version of the character being more insecure. The angle is not great because we're the other way around and still looking at, so I'm fighting some discrepancies here.
Connection, right?
So maybe I don't need to fully try to mimic that because it's not there.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
And then I want to already start
Connection, right?
maybe just move it a bit more forwards. Rotate the hand.
Connection, right? Connection, right? Connection, right? Some kind of connection, right?
Not.
Connection, right?
Not a big fan of it going up, but
But I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
pushing it down a little bit there.
Connection, right? Connection, right?
And then we'll do some hand animation on this hand, and then
I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
then we'll call it a day for today. Please let me know if you have any questions. Put it in the chat. I'll try to read it. I just want to add that extra beat of the hand losing up, like getting rid of the
I want to keep
glass.
talking to you, you know?
So,
I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
connection, right? And so he pushes the glass forward and then puts his hand down. I think that's what I did in the other reference. So anybody that's saying, are you using reference? Yes, I do, but I take liberty. So it's like,
Connection, right?
and then pushing the hand there. Now I put the hand right behind it. I want to keep the fingers visible, keep it a bit more readable. So
Some kind of connection, right?
so that means that we need to disconnect the glass here, because right here, if I now put down the hand, it will stick to it. So that means we also grab the root bone, which is terribly here, but hey, what you gonna do, hey? So how do we do that? Simple. So let's say I want to release the glass here. So I go one frame before, key the influence, go one frame after, and I key the influence, but also I hit the X button there. Now I have to check. This probably won't work, does it? Pose mode. Is this working? I have to turn it off, key it. 1 0. So now, if I move the hand, it's loose. And here, it's stuck. I'm limiting myself a little bit here by already putting down constraints on the keys on the constraint. But for this, I'm fine. So on frame 34, push down the hand, push it backwards a little bit, and relax the fingers. So,
right?
Like that. We have a new control here as well, if you guys are familiar with Rain. This control, what it does is this little arrow. I scale it as a roll. If I rotate it, it's going rotate in Z, it's going to spread. And then if I rotate it down, it will actually, it's a little hard to see in this pose, but you can actually change the rotation of the palm and the fingers together, which is a nice quick way to to push some bones up together. So I want to rest the fingers a bit more on the table. So they're not sticking through, but also not being super flat. It's a bit more relaxed. And this is where it comes handy that I actually set down a keyframe on frame 1. So when I go back, I don't lose that pose. Okay. Normally I don't bother about this, but just for the sake of readability, maybe I do want to flatten them a little bit. Let's see.
Right? Right.
Got the thumb. I reset the rotation and then push it out a little bit like that. Did I not put keys on there? I think so.
I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Turn off that rotation thingy.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right? I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Okay. Now, that's some rough blocking for you. Main ideas are in there. I'm still going to tweak some here and there. So for this week, I want to stream every other day, I would say, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow I will stream. Wednesday, probably not. Thursday, I will. And we'll get as far as we can. I will continue working on it off screen. So that means tomorrow you will see an updated version on this, simply because I need my time to actually catch up with the shot. But I will catch up with you guys if you follow the stream to see what I did and what choices I made from here. Okay. Here we go. Let's go to the chat. Can you show me how to import video in Blender? Video. Drag. And it's there. There's better ways to do it, but you can add in, like, drag in your videos into your camera. So that's how I did it. It will be in the, if you're not in pose mode, but in object mode, you grab the camera, go to camera settings. There's the background images where you can load a movie clip or for your reference. Otherwise, use the video sequencer. That's another way to do it. If you ever been shy making a reference video, I'm shy maybe showing it at some point, but yeah, if you get paid for it. Are you sure about that left hand shortage on the light? Yeah, I'm not sure about any of the poses right now. It's very fluid, but yeah, that's an indirect criticism and I will look at it. Are you sure about that left hand shortage on the last pose? Yes, I will figure something out. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. Yes. Your camera covers the influence slider in case you want to show it. Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that. It's right. Yeah. Let me figure something out. But yes, in the properties, the bone constraints, you will find the constraint and turn your constraint off. What's a good practice learning hand animation? Drawing. Draw hands. Search for hand drawings, because that will give you very readable and organic poses, and that will help your posing tremendously. Render it, please. Yes, it will be rendered once it's done, I guess. Okay. Hey, Marshall. Hello, sir. Welcome, seeing me struggle live. Marshall is a former colleague of mine. Great to see you. Hi, man. So yes, proper staging today. Let me just show it once more, and then we'll cut it. We'll call it a day. We don't cut it, but we'll call it a day, and continue streaming tomorrow. So here we go. And it's not playing, of course. Here we go.
I want to keep.
Let me turn off myself. Yeah. And turn on Rain, because she's part of it too.
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
Now, again, staging-wise, you see the hand is there. I might want to do some adjustments there, but...
I want to keep talking to you, you know? I don't know what your situation is, but I feel like we got some kind of connection, right?
And she's slapping him in the face. I don't know yet. We'll figure something out. Also, for the beginning part, I want to start off the shot instead of like him waiting for his cue to start the shot here.
I want to keep...
I maybe want to have him already like do a last sip of his glass, put the glass down. So we cut in the middle of an action. It's always nicer and it feels more organic to do that instead of wait for the line to start. So we'll figure that out later. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll talk to each other. See me tomorrow. Probably same time. Goodbye.